Hey, this is Muichimotsu, and this is the second part of what I've basically titled What is Muichimotsu? And in this part, I'm going to be a little more scholarly, academic, you might say. So if you don't want to listen to this, that's okay. You can, I don't know. I'll admit my motivation has been pretty much shot to some extent for actually making videos, if only because the Pokemon ROM hacks got really, really boring. Not to mention, it's just more difficult to do these kind of semantic rants or ramblings on stuff, if only because I am taking a class and I don't know, I have other things. I've been reading a lot of manga and manhwa, so I've also been busy with that, you might say. Anyway, yeesh, I could have done this a lot earlier. I could have been up at probably 10 or 11 a.m., but I woke up at freaking like 1 p.m. Anyway, enough about me bitching about that. On to Muichimotsu itself. I was already getting into explaining it a little bit last time that it basically means to hold nothing is the most common translation, or to be free of everything, to be impoverished, even you might say, to be poor, to not cling to anything, to not be attached, all those sorts of things. The origin of the phrase is from a monk called Din Chi, I believe in hit the mic there. Let's see. Ninji Yishuan Dinzai Gigen Rinchi Yishuan. Yeah, that's the monk. He went over to Japan, I believe, or technically he might have actually been. His teachings may have actually been transferred over to Japan. Either way, one of his teachings is followers of the way of Zen. If you want to get the kind of understanding that accords with the Dharma, never be misled by others. Whether you're facing inward or facing outward, whatever you meet up with, just kill it. If you meet a Buddha, kill the Buddha. If you meet a patriarch, kill the patriarch. If you meet an arhat, which is it's a stage on the way to being a Buddha. If you meet an arhat, kill the arhat. If you meet with your parents, kill your parents. If you meet your kinfolk, kill your kinfolk. Then for the first time you will gain emancipation, will not be entangled with things, will pass freely anywhere you wish to go. And then he goes on and on to uh, how it's kind of irrelevant to do all this contemplation and speculation on doctrines and teachings of the Buddha that are ancient in terms of Zen practice, because this was 866 AD or CE, or whatever time structure you prefer there. But that's the basics of his teachings. He was very much trying to get people to say you shouldn't focus on the authority structures of your master or the Buddha or the Dharma itself, or what Buddha meant by this or that, or how this term relates to attaining nirvana, and what nirvana is, what samsara is, etc. I mean, if you have read anything or even had a little bit of reading into Zen practitioners like Shunryu Suzuki, or uh, another one, I think it's DT something. He's another famous one. I've forgotten his full name. I think it's like uh, I don't know. DT has Setsu in it somewhere. Either way, they note that it's more important to practice mindfulness, to practice attaining some sort of stage or understanding of ultimate reality, and you're trying to understand that in a sense that is not in a box, you might say, or it's not restricted to the monastic practice. It's not restricted to being a monk and severing your ties with your family and all that. Because while in a sense that might be a good thing, you're trying to kind of see even your loved ones and family as impermanent and without complete significance in the long run. But at the same time, the observation is that when you go into the monastic order, you have dropped one thing, but you've become attached and trying to get this significant or you might say permanent as well. I mean, that's the critique here. You might realize your family and friends and people outside the monastic order are impermanent, but in becoming too attached to the authority and the merit and the novelty and all that comes with the monastic order, you might actually become attached to the notion that your master is perfect and can do no wrong, or your fellow monks are really, really important. They're like your family. In this sense, the critique is that you've kind of projected things. God damn it, fucking phone. We will, Anyway, I could have just paused that before, but sorry about that. And I freaking screamed expletives like no one's business, probably. Or something close. I don't know who the hell's calling, and it's probably the first time my recordings have been interrupted by the fucking phone. But anyway, the point of the matter is that you're not supposed to parent by this general teaching anyway. You're forgetting that there are supposedly these three marks of existence, one of them being that life is unsatisfactory, one that life is impermanent, and the other one that life doesn't have any yourself, other people's selves, they're not permanent and unchanging. You're supposed to recognize that, in fact, even the concept of an individual personality and the like is affected by the other two aspects of existence, that life is unsatisfactory and that life has an impermanence and transience to it that you can't avoid. But in that regard, it becomes difficult for people to actually take it to heart, especially when you try to explain that phrase, not the phrase, the saying itself in general. If you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. Just if you meet anything on the road of your seeking enlightenment, you should kill it. And people tend to take that very at face value, but I think even if you explain that it's a Zen saying, people are going to kind of become distanced from it and not really want to take it as seriously, because it's preferable for people to actually be attached and want their family and friends to never die, which is why the notion of heaven is taught by Abrahamic traditions, that is, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Although Judaism is debatably a tradition that actually teaches that, so to speak, but if we take Christianity in particular as one of the more popular ones, and Islam right behind it, although that's a whole culture war thing I don't want to get into, but if you take their descriptions of heaven as a place where you can meet with your loved ones, where you can be in perfect bliss for the rest of your existence, which is for eternity in their perspective. It's understandable why that is desirable and why people believe in it, why people make apologetics for it, etc. But it's as if you have exchanged the attachments to worldly things, but you have become attached to heavenly things, as it were. Which is why somehow I almost have a prediction that Buddhism will, in some respect, grow in popularity, but then again, it's not like it isn't significantly popular already in the East. But I mean, Einstein put it that way. It's a cosmic religion. It's not something that limits the view of the world to the sacred and the profane. In fact, Buddhism seems, especially in the Zen tradition, to try to find things that are of significance in the profane. I mean, you can meet people that are otherwise not really apparently at first glance to be enlightened, but they actually are. It's very interesting. It's probably my compulsion towards it, even though I hate to use the word compulsion because it would suggest that I feel this way more than anything. But I guess you can't escape your feelings. So I've been waxing on for a while, and I got a little pissed off, and luckily Audacity works in a way that I can pause the recording, so I think you only got a few rings in there, and they're relatively far away, so it probably isn't as significant as if there was someone right beside me, or if there was a phone right beside me, so it's not like it'd be really, really bad. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I enjoyed it. And God damn it, I need these freaking computer updates. That's why That's why I probably sound a little rushed on this. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed the pictures of Sanzo, because I have about 4. Anyway, see you later.